David Seven, aka Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, so welcome to the show, The Force Always. This is a show entirely dedicated to Spider-Man No Way Home. This is the review. It's technically news, it's technically views, technically reviews and interviews all in one. And yes, you saw me with a Kool-Aid, let's say sipping the Kool-Aid. That's the actual cinema franchise that we have here. That's Village Cinemas. You probably see that sometimes at the end of the credits because they are a big contributor to actual movies too. Yes, so I saw it today. So I'll give you the actual rating out of 10 towards the end. But this is going to be a non-spoiler review. It will be very hard, let me tell you, not to do any spoilers. But it's going to be a non-spoiler. I'm just going to give you a feel of things. Technically, that could be seen as a spoiler, but it will be just seen as something to indicate what I felt about the film. The story from start to finish was great. It really had a great structure. I would say the second quarter of the film fell a bit flat, but still held its ground. The acting, especially by Tom Holland, was, very, very good for a comic book film. I thought it was fantastic. Now, I've got to say, there is definitely surprises in here, but there's definitely non-surprises in here. All the speculation that's been mounting for months, maybe a year, can be known as a surprise and can be known as a non-surprise. But there is an interesting way of telling this story. I think the key component to this story, obviously via Doctor Strange, he is a spell maker, and this here is, without giving anything away, the core point of the storytelling in this particular film. And I thought it was, it was believable, but it was a bit of a stretch as well. The actual, let's give this part away. There is a spell, but I think the spell is a bit of a stretch, but at the same time it is sort of believable. I think basically, look, I'm holding up the cup for some reason, I don't know, but I think if there was any fault to this film, there's hardly any. It was just delivered well. The story was well. I would rank it in one of the top comic book films that I've seen. So the news is it's released. The views is, can Star Wars have a similar type of storyline to suit it? It's like the way it carried out, and I think it can. The core point of the story that I'm talking about is extreme emotion. It happens a lot towards the end of this film, and I think this sometimes is a bit lost with Star Wars because it's a bit family friendly, but the extreme emotion would just give the story, any story, especially Star Wars, a great sense of storytelling. Reviews, well, let's review this cup. I would say it's I'd say a 7 out of 10. I wouldn't say it's spectacular, but it's, it's definitely Spider-Man No Way Home. Interviews is what can be done for Star Wars. What can Star Wars learn from Spider-Man No Way Home? I think it can learn to really, really follow an unrelentless passion in intensity, even if it's in violence. I mean, this film has quite a intensity at times, not all times, it's very small, but at times. Star Wars can learn just to, let that flow a bit stronger. What can Star Wars not learn from this. I think telling a story with comedy, like the comic book films do, works really well because it's sort of set in reality, more like down to earth, in earth, around earth. And I think that is a big component, a big aspect to why humor works a bit better within the comic book films. I think just Star Wars needs to steer away from that type of humor. But anyway, let's give the rating out of 10. This to me was a 9 out of 10. And the point that it lost, without giving much away, there was sort of two areas that the emotion builds up. The first point, and I've got to say, without giving it away, but it's, you know, it's a little bit of a spoiler here, but I won't tell you who, but there is a loss. And I think that loss, if that was done a bit earlier in the film, like even if it caught away through the film, preferably the start, but caught away through the film, that weight of that loss would have been felt stronger and longer with the storytelling. I think that's the part that I just thought was a bit done a bit late, but at the same time it was not too late. So that's the point that it really loses, because it would have been a really perfect story having that weight of the film with that loss early, just to have the audience really feel and be just riveted by the pursuit, let's say. So this is a 9 out of 10. It's a really good cinema film, really good DVD film, great one to rewatch, and you definitely have to rewatch. There's some parts that I need to see again, which I will, just for the sake of missing little components. Creative wise, it was, had a really nice creativity. It just needed a bit more reality to its reality to the way that it was using a reason throughout the film. It's so hard not to talk about this, but there's a reason why you see characters appear, and I think there just needed to be a bit more stronger than just it being said. There needed to be some sort of scientific or logical reason for us to believe, even if it was just made up. There's a bit more belief behind that. But highly recommend it. 9 out of 10. Try and see it ASAP. You're going to get spoiled online. It's one of those films that just people want to spoil other people. In fact, at the start and the end of the film, when I saw it, actually gave a sort of a picture and a warning, just to please don't spoil this for other people, which I thought was quite unique. Anyway, and even the after credits, there's 2 after credits. There's one at the very, 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 very end, which is more of a teaser trailer, if you ask me. And the first one is an after credits scene. So that sort of appears fairly quickly after some credits have rolled through. One big aspect I thought, personally, being into hip hop, the particular song that gets played as soon as the credits roll, I thought was a great choice from the title. And even if you knew that this song was going to be put on the soundtrack or in the movie, you still would not have known real big surprises in this film from the title of this particular song, because it doesn't say the whole chorus title. It's cryptic what I'm saying here. I'm trying not to spoil the whole thing, but I thought it was a great choice of song. It's a hip hop song, but it's sort of it really embraces the finale of this Spider-Man trilogy. But anyway, and this particular episode as well. So anyway, that's my review of Spider-Man No Way Home from a Star Wars fan. I'm just a Star Wars fan. Bit of news there, bit of views, bit of reviews, more reviews, and a little bit of interviews there. Next week we'll be back to normal. Anyway, that is the show for this summer round. Please subscribe if you can. I've got the Instagram down there. I've also got the Twitter, or you can message me via YouTube. Until next time, my friends, you keep wiggity rocking.